So I'm Dr. Carol Roberts, the medical director of the Naples Center for Functional Medicine. And what we're starting to do here with this little video is to introduce our patient population and anybody in the community that's interested, in the broader community, to functional medicine. What is it? What do we do here? How is our philosophy different than the conventional medicine that we kind of grew up with? And what can our patients expect? And also to put online the explanations that I only get to give once to a patient in the office. Sometimes the patient doesn't hear everything I say, and sometimes they need to hear it again, or maybe want to show it to a loved one or a friend. And so we're going to put these little vignettes up online, and we're going to be doing that at irregular intervals probably, but watch this space. It's going to be on our website, and if it goes on any other social media, we'll let you know. So that's where we're starting. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is the idea of medicine as a science and medicine as an art. So if medicine is truly a science, then it must be grounded in fundamental principles like any science. There are certain ideas that have to be defined before we know what we're talking about. So I was a mathematics major in college, and I learned that definitions are the most crucial thing that you need in the very beginning, because they determine everything that happens afterwards. So what is the definition of health? We never talk about that in medical school. Health is kind of assumed to be the absence of disease, whereas in functional medicine, health is a state of optimal functioning. And that is what we're aiming for all the time. We're not just looking to treat symptoms, we're looking to have people in a state of high functionality, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, as long as they can. And then, give it up at the end and die having had a full and happy life. So that's our fundamental definition. And then the idea of what is a human being is also never addressed, and what's the difference between life and death. So a human being is a creature, an organism, embedded in a culture, embedded in a planet. And so we have to look beyond the individual, and certainly the individual's physical being, in order to see the bigger picture, because everything from micro to gargantuan, planetary size impacts our health. And if we're not looking in the right places, we'll never achieve optimal functioning. So it's hard to understand how chopping up an individual into body parts and then assigning those body parts to medical experts who become extremely proficient in their particular body parts, so the cardiologist for the heart, and the gastroenterologist for the gut, and the neurologist for the brain, never learn how all those body parts interact. And that's a huge deficiency. So we try to weave those things together and, in fact, have an idea of a hierarchy of organs that need to be addressed in order to achieve functional health. So we like to start with the gut. The gut is the interface on the inside of the body with the outside world. And so much goes on in there that impacts our health. So if the gut is not happy, nothing in the body will work correctly. And oftentimes the brain is the most affected. So again, we must have an integrative idea of what the human being is in order to do the best that we can to achieve functionality. And we'll talk more about this in future videos. So there's where we're starting.